MA087 chapter 1.4 solving equations with whole numbers. Okay, solving equation. Okay, what is the solution of an equation? The solution of an equation is a number that satisfies the equation when the number is substituted for the variable in the equation. Okay, which means there is an equation like this. Okay, x plus y equals x, so x plus 5 is equal to 8. Then the solution of the equation is 6. We will find out why x is 6 later on. Okay, but 6 is the solution of this equation because when you plug in 6 for x, then the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation is true. Sorry, actually this 6 is not the right one. So let me change this one to, let me change this so that it will be, okay, 5 and 11, sorry, 5 and 11. Then the solution is 6 because, you know, when you substitute 6 for x, then 6 plus 5 will be 11. So the equation will be true. So here, x plus 5 is equal to 11, right? So let's replace this x with the value 6. Then let's check whether this is true. This is 11 and the right side 11 and they are equal. So once you plug the value of the variable x, makes the equation true, then that value is the solution. Okay, so this is, we're just checking whether a number is a solution of the equation. But we will find out how we find the value of x, okay, later on. Okay, here is a very important concept. Okay, the same number can be subtracted from each side of the equation without changing the solution of the equation, which means, okay, let's say we have an equation like this: x plus 5. Let's use the previous example. X plus 5 is equal to 11. So we have an equation like this, and then from this we can subtract a number from each side. So let's say here is an x plus 5. So it is okay that we subtract 5 from each side. So subtract 5 from the left side, subtract 5 from the right side. Then why do you subtract 5? It depends. It depends on the equation. Now we have a plus 5 here, plus 5. So the opposite of plus 5 is minus 5, right? Minus 5. So we want to do minus 5, which means subtract 5. So just like this. Here is a balance. And on the left-hand side, here's the right-hand side. Let's say there are some apples inside. Apples, so they keep the balance. So keep the balance means, you know, they are equal, right? They are equal so that the weight on the left side and the weight on the right side are equal, so it keeps the balance. But if you add something here, like let's say you added 3 apples, then the left side will be heavier, so that you will move to the left, right? So in order to keep the balance, what do? We add the same number to the right. So we add 3 apples to the right as well, so that the weight is same, right? Same. So even you subtract some number from the left hand side, then also you need to subtract the same number from the right side, so the balance keeps the same. So here's an equation. Whenever you add or subtract a number from the left hand side, then also you have to do the same thing to the right hand side. So the left hand, let's now calculate the left hand side. 5 minus 5. What is 5 minus 5? Then this is equal to 0, right? So the left hand side is only x left, because 5 minus 5 is 0, right? And the 11 minus 5 is 6. Okay, finally x plus 0 is x. So the value of x equals 6. So this is how we find the solution of an equation. So when a variable is added or subtracted like this, x plus 5, then what do? We add the opposite of this number, plus 5 or minus 5. So in this case, minus 5. Okay, let's try different examples. Okay, let's check another example. This time the variable y is multiplied by 4. Then is it okay to divide each side of the equation? Yes, you can, because look at this. Each side of the equation can be multiplied or divided by the same number. So you may divide each side by any number except 0. Don't divide by 0. So other than 0, you can divide by any number. So let's divide by 2. What happens? If you divide by 2, then 4 divided by 2 is 2y is equal to 6, right? So still the equation is true. How about, can we divide by 4? Yes, of course, you can divide by 4. Or you can divide by like this. So 4y is equal to 12. So why don't we divide each side by 4? Then let's see what happens. Then 4 divided by 4, you cancel out. This 4 and cancel out, right? So y is equal to 12 divided by 4 is 3. So we got the y value is equal to 3. So when you divide an equation by some number, why don't we divide the number that is multiplied to this variable y? Like this. So 4 is multiplied by y, the variable. Then why don't we divide each side by the same number, 4, so that we can get the value of y. Alright, so if variable is multiplied by a number, then divide the equation by the same number. Okay, let's try another example. Here's an equation, 20 equals 5x. So when we solve this equation, okay, solve the equation means what? Find the value of x. So look at this variable x, and the variable x is multiplied by a number 5. This is a multiplication, right? So in that case, what do? We can divide each side by the same number 5. So divide each side by the same number 5, so that from the right side, you can cancel out this 5, and we have only the variable x left. And the left side is 4, right? So finally, you can write it, interchange the sides, so x equals 4. So we found the value of the variable x. And 4 is the solution of the equation. Can you see this one? So whenever a variable is multiplied by a number, then what do? Divide each side by the same number, 5 in this case. So multiplication, then divide it. Multiplied, then divide. Okay, very, very important concept. Alright, let's now solve application problems, word problems. Okay, whenever a word problem contains the words like this, equals, is equal to, was, is, represent, is the same as, and then we will change this word into equal sign. Okay, for example, here's an example. The number of calculators sold last month is 3 times the number of calculators sold this month. Okay, what does it mean? Here is, right? Is. So we can separate this into the left side of this word is, and then the right side of this is. So the left side is the number of calculators sold last month. So let's put it here like this. Number of calculators sold last month is. So separate this with is. Then that value will be 3 times the number of calculators sold this month. Okay, this month will be on the right hand side, and the last month will be on the left hand side. So if 225 calculators were sold last month, so last month the number of calculators sold last month was 225. So in this case, this word is will be replaced by equal sign, right? Equal sign. And the phrase on the left side of this word is will be located in the left side of the equation. So 225 calculators were sold last month, 225. And then how many calculators were sold this month? So we don't know the number of calculators sold this month, so let's make it X. So look at this, 3 times the number of calculators sold this month. So why don't we make it variable X? So this will be the expression for this phrase will be 3 times means 3, right? 3 times the number of calculators sold this month. So that will be X, right? X. So we can write it 3X. Can you see it? So change the word is into equal sign. Then the left side phrase will be 225. Then the right side of the phrase is, the equal sign will be 3 times something. 3 times, so 3 times. The something is, we don't know. That's what we're going to find. So let's make it a variable X. So 3X. So this is the equation. 225 equals, so 225 is equal to 3X. So what do we do next? We can divide each side by what? 3, right? 3, because the variable X is multiplied by 3. So you can divide each side by the same number, 3. Then 225 over 3 is 75, right? And the right side, 3 cancel out X. So X is 75. So what's the value of X? Value of X is the number of calculators sold this month. How many calculators were sold this month? That is X, right? X. So 75 calculators were sold this month. Okay, so it is very important to convert the word problem into an equation. So when you convert an equation, we must have the equal sign. And the equal sign comes from the verb is or equals, is equal to, or something like this. Then you can replace these words, this verb with equal sign. Then the phrase on the left side of that verb will be the expression of the left side of the equation. And then and the phrase after this verb, then there will be the phrase of the right side of the equation. And then solve the equation. Here's another example of a word problem. Use the formula A equals B plus I, P plus I, and the value A represents the value of the investment. I think I forgot writing something. So A is the total amount after you invested some money, and P is the original investment, and I is the interest earned. So when you invest the money, then you will get the interest. So after a certain period, you have your principal amount plus the interest you earned, and adding these two will be your total value after you invest it. So from here, find the interest earned. So the interest earned is what? This is the value I, right? So we want to find I. And then the original investment, which is 12,000, then this will be the value of the principal P, right? And now the value became what? $14,280. So this will be the value of A. So from these three values, A and P values are given, and we want to find the value of I. So why don't we just replace these two values? So the function, the given equation is A equals P plus I, and we want to find I. So replace this value of A. So what's the value of A? 14,280 equals the value of P is 12,000 plus I. So that from this equation, we can now find the value of I. So how do you find the value of I? All right, the right side contains variable I, and this one is a addition, right? Addition. So something plus something. This means this is not a multiplication. This is an addition. So we can get rid of this 12,000. Okay, 12,000 is plus, right? Positive. So why don't we subtract? This time minus 12,000, because 12,000 is positive. The opposite of 12,000 is negative. So we'll just use negative 12,000. So subtract 12,000 each side. Then the left hand side will be 2,280, and then the right side will become 0 plus I. Then 0 plus I is equal to same as I. So the interest, after certain amount of period, the interest became what? 2,280 dollars. So this is the interest earned. So when you write an equation, in this example, already equation is given. What we have to do is just replace each variable with the given numbers. So there are 3 variables, and then 2 values, and the values of 2 variables are given, so that we can find the value of the 3rd variable. Okay.